Yo, welcome to Diversity of Thought podcast. They're just like a touch up, letting people know what's going on and stuff like that. Letting people know we're still locked in. Um, I ain't distracted. It's just trying to get the business right when it comes to this podcast and getting people to be consistent and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on. But I'm excited about this, man, because I was thinking about it. I was speaking to Johanna, and Johanna was telling me she understand why I don't do it by myself because it's really hard to have a conversation with yourself on here. This is hard for me to sit down here and talk. I could talk all day when I have a group of people, but when I'm by myself, I'd rather be alone and stuff like that. I don't want to be, so you know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what so just like an update and stuff what we want to talk about. Because I want to talk about business and business ventures. That's one thing. I really want to talk about relationships, especially with a group of people, because everybody have different perspectives. And I also want to talk about sports because I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan and we're looking good this year, like real, real, real good. And I also want to talk about, what I'm saying, music. Music is a big thing. I love music the way a man love a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really love music. Let me tell you guys something, right? Since I've been in America, when I was back home, I used to be the only person among my friends, group and stuff like that, I listened to rap. And I came to America and all I listened to was rap, 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 right? And then I just I was in a little lull and then I started listening to reggae again and soca music and all that stuff. So I get back locked in with my culture. So, you know, it's been a different journey for me when it comes to the music and stuff like that. You understand? So when I go to work now, I play music, I play reggae music a lot. I've been listening to Vibes Cartel a lot. I was sleep on him when he was up and coming and stuff like that from back in the day. I ain't sleep on him now. He's fire. So just stuff like that, getting people in tune with what's going on with me. Things I have planned. I have a bunch of guests and stuff. I have some upcoming things that I'll be able to show the world in a minute. So that's it. And plus, it's an open space, man. So anybody who want to be on the podcast, they could be on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? It could be on the podcast. It's a place for us to connect. You see, a lot of us is Facebook friends and stuff, but we never met in real life. Like case in point, my guy Mike, Mikey Graham. You know what I'm saying? We was Facebook friends for years before I met him when I went to New York and stuff like that. Same thing with my guy too in Spade. We was Facebook friends for years before we met in Chicago when he came here to do a training. So this is a place for us to connect, lock in, really, really, really build. I believe in being enterprising and industrious, and I want us to really, really lock in. And I really want to build this channel. I want to build this channel. I have a lot of ideas I have and stuff like that for this channel. And a lot of people I want to collaborate with and really put things into a different light. So that's really what I wanted to say. I want to get here and lock in with people, talk to the people, let the people know that hey, I'm excited. I'm really serious about this podcast thing. I do believe if it gets legs, it could take off and it could be something truly, truly, truly special. You know, it could be truly special. And this is the first time me talking talking directly to the people and talking by myself. It's kind of hard to talk to yourself. Eventually, I'll get the hang of it. But for now and stuff like that, I'm getting the hang of it. I understand. So that's one of the things. But I really want to talk about Shador Sanders, man. Oh my God. I watched a preseason game. I don't know nothing about the Browns. I'm a Giants fan hard, but I don't know how I feel about them passing up on him. Because we could have had him in New York, you know? We could have had him in New York. And I have a problem with that. We could have had him in New York. He was built for a New York market. And the fact that we passed on him is ridiculous. But the Giants quarterback looked good. So I have to really, really, I had to really be excited about that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted Shadow in New York. Also, I watched him this week, man. Friday night I watched that game, bro. And he had no reps to the first team and was able to deliver. Imagine if you get a real support, how incredible he could be. Because that kid is nice, yo. That kid is super nice. Cam Ward is super nice, but Shadow should have been in third pick in the draft. What it did to him is unacceptable. But I realized something, and I saw something on Twitter today, right? Shador comes from football royalty. Archie Manning comes from football royalty, right? And somebody say one name is a blessing and one name is a curse, and that resonated with me, man. Like, damn, he has the same football pedigree, same, never get in trouble in college, none of that stuff. The only difference is his confidence because of the kind of father he has. His confidence is different, it's a whole different level. The Mannings and them, okay, they low key and all that stuff, but Peyton and Eli stand to show a personality, and plus Eli bring two trips to New York, so he's forever goated in my eyes, But the fact that Shador had to go through this because that humble his father, because this wasn't about him, this is about his father. He wanted to make sure that his father would come into any situation and try to dictate what's going on with his son. And I don't agree with it, but I get it because that's the nature of the beast, right? People don't understand confidence. Case in point, sometimes my confidence is misconstrued for arrogance, but I'm not an arrogant person. Anybody that knows me personally know I'm not arrogant. I'm extremely confident though. And the reason why I'm confident is because of the things I went through in life and stuff, the things I had to endure to build me this way. That's why, I'm big on my last name being everything. My last name is everything to me. I will not compromise my last name for nobody. So I kind of understand the hate that comes with confidence, because confidence is a thing, man. Is a thing, you know. Even when in a dating game and stuff, like, you got to be a confident man. Women gravitate to confidence in a man. They don't like you to be indecisive, unsure, and stuff like that. They want it to be very, very decisive and confident, and they want you to eat and sleep and breathe your truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them things. So, and that's all the type of things we could talk about in the podcast and stuff to build, especially when it comes to giving young men the game to build them up. Because guess what, right? We went through a lot of stuff. I'm 45 years old. Imagine the things I went through in life to get me this perspective, especially when it comes to business, dating, you know. Even I could say sometimes we lose ourselves in trying to please a woman and stuff like that in dating. So your perspective had to change because, hey, trying to do everything in the world to be with a woman and stuff. Sometimes it's like trying to hold water with your hand. It don't make sense, And sometimes we got to go through that to have this type of perspective and stuff like that. So and one thing we ain't is the nanny police. We know that. I'm saying I don't be judging. In my younger days I used to judge, but I realized there's no point in judging. It's like a job with no pay. You don't get money because you have an opinion about something. All you can say is this shit is not for me, and it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm adamant about that. I'm not accepting. I'm not settling. And I want to be able to give that type of perspective to young men so they understand. Hey, it's cool to say no to something. You know what I'm saying? If it don't align with it don't align with your morals. You know what I'm saying? You must have a moral code. You must have an ethical code as a man. Because sometimes something can be so pretty and stuff like it's not worth it. It's not worth it because all it does is lead to disappointment. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we learn the things we had with. Sometimes you had to walk away from certain things, man. Even if it, even if it looks like, oh my God, this is like the hope diamond. You had to be able to walk away because sometimes the hope diamond is not for you. Maybe you need a coal that you can polish that will turn to your diamond. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I'm big on, especially giving young men the game. You have to give young men the game. I don't have a son. I don't. I wish I did. I have a nephew because my brother has a son. You know what I'm saying? So I have a son, and then my cousins and them are boys and stuff like that. So I want to be able to leave something here so they could always go back and say, Uncle Quays give us the game. And I like how he lives because he lives in this. When I turn 45 this year, I live unproblematic. I do. My peace is the most important thing to me. I realize it makes no sense happening and stuff. Just cut it off. That's why it's good to not have transactional relationships. Because if you have transactional relationships, all you do is keep people around you that keep dragging you down and stuff. You just gotta cut it off. Think about how much that weight, how much it feels when you have no weight on you. And right now I'm weightless. I feel like I'm in space, because I'm not sticking around something that weighs me down and stuff. So this is really important. I think the podcast could be a place for therapy, and especially I want to be able to have conversations with women and what they see when it comes to men and stuff, and understanding their boundaries and stuff. Because the last podcast episode we did, John and myself, we was talking about when I came back to Chicago and I wasn't working and stuff like that. Before I get back in my super bag, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't there. My mom. The crazy thing about it is, I wasn't working for like about. I wasn't working for about maybe a year and a half and stuff. I was dating a girl in Portland, so I had a financial portfolio, and I was going to Portland and stuff, and I really run through my money being in that relationship and stuff like that. So when I came back to Chicago, things was tight for me. My mom used to have to give me money to cut my hair. So I'm forever grateful for my mother. You know, she used to give me money to cut my hair and stuff like that, right? So one of my friends, he Trinidadian, he lived up here. Him and his wife had introduced me to one of her friends. You know what I'm saying? But her friend wasn't feeling me at the time. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Man, working live with his mom and shit." You know, and I felt some type of way about it until the last podcast. My man was talking to me like, hey, she had boundaries, just like not boundaries. She had expectations. She had standards, just like how we have standards and expectations. And that's the first time I get this perspective because that shit fueled me, boy. Because when I get back in my super bag and I back on my feet, she showed interest. But I was holding anything like, nah, you didn't. Shit, you didn't see the potential. I mean, nah, bro, that was her standard and her boundaries. And I was glad I was able to talk to somebody that could give me that perspective because for years that shit was in the back of my head. Like she don't understand how special I am, and I'm super special, But that's the good thing about having this platform, so we can have these type of conversations. These conversations is very, very important, especially when it comes to pointing to men and giving men game, because I was saying something too when they talk about all men doing these podcasts is bash women. Now we give all our perspective on how we feel and what certain actions make us feel. But I want to be able to have a conversation with women to see how they see us, and so we could come to common ground, find a good medium when it comes to this. So so I'm excited, yo. I'm excited. It's not easy doing this because I also have a 9 to 5, and I also run a business. So my time is really, really important. So I make sure when I start to do this and I want to be more and more consistent, I want to make sure that the consistency are able to keep up with it, because I need this to become monetized and I need this to become something really, really big. I want to be able to put everybody on. I want everybody to be on. I want you to jump on here, have your friends on here, all that stuff. You guys could inbox me on Facebook, text me, hey, Chris, I want to be on the podcast. I have something to say, and I'm cool with that. Because it could be different days for different things. It could have days when it's an open platform, everybody could be on it, and it got days it could be serious about business, and it got days we could be excited about sports, and it had days we got to be talking about relationships where we need multiple people to be on there so we could talk about what we think. So it's really important. I also want to talk about parenting also because it's very, very important, especially for men. You know, especially for men, because I think nobody hears a man's story when it comes to parenting. People hear the word parent and I was associated with a woman raising the child and all that stuff. So I want us to be able to have a conversation about relationships when they crash, when they have kids involved, when the kids is weaponized to hurt you and all that stuff, and how it makes us feel, and how we have to at times have to overcome that back and forth war with the mother in order for us to enjoy our children, because that shit is the worst feeling in the world. Because nobody, like men, like me, I'm private, right? If I have a woman, you know what I'm saying, I'm not talking about my personal relationship online. Unless it's something that I could talk about we could like maybe when I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Because I was married once. I like to talk about my relationship all the time online. My Dominican goddess. And the day when we was done, somebody text me with my Dominican goddess now. And that shit mess with my head, yeah. And that could be my ego and pride because I'm from the Caribbean, I'm Trinidadian, I'm a pride monster. We are anything about Caribbean men is we are pride monsters. If you want to learn about Caribbean men, you need to tune into this podcast because we are pride monsters. I would swallow blood before I swallow my pride, you know. So, but there's parts in my life I would like to share. I want to be transparent with it, especially when it came to parenting and stuff like that. The things I experienced, and I have some friends who experienced things when it came to their parenting. Not everybody know the story, but I think it's real good for men to share these stories and see how we could navigate and give each other insight and stuff. You know, because the worst thing in the world is for somebody to weaponize your love for your kids against you, and that's a real thing that happens. You know. What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, so I'm a fan of technology and stuff and fashion. So we could talk about technology and fashion. Only a handful of us love fashion and stuff like that. People call me a label whore, which is crazy to me because I just look at it as rewards for hard work, you know? And your taste has to evolve, you know what I'm saying? So your taste has to evolve. You can't, like me, when I always tell the story, when I first came to America, all I drank in Trinidad was Lipton tea. That's all I drank, Lipton tea, Lipton tea, Lipton tea, right? And I went on a date, a coffee date, which was new to me, and had a venti caramel macchiato, extra caramel. And that that gave me such an awakening and stuff like that. It let me know that your taste was supposed to evolve. You think I ever drink Lipton tea after having a caramel macchiato? No. I had a caramel macchiato today. And to be honest with you, now I drink cafe con leche, espressos, and all that stuff. I have different type of. I'm a fan of coffee and coffee shops. You know, Joanna took me to a place called Calibri Coffee in Barrington. I don't know if anybody live in Barrington. Barrington is where the money's at. In Chicago, well, it's Illinois. In Illinois, that's where the money's at. That's where you see the expensive homes, the nice cars, the cuisine is different. Lake Geneva, all that stuff, so it's a different, your taste has to evolve. So yeah, think about it, right? I'm from Trinidad, I'm from Chagonas in Trinidad. We party in Goldfinger spread and all that stuff. If you're from Chagonas, you know what Goldfinger spread is. To be in America, all right, to be in America now, and you've been to the best restaurants and all that stuff. That's a hell of an evolution in taste. I still love my local cuisine, my Trinidad cuisine. Nothing can be Trinidad cuisine, but I experience different things because my taste has evolved. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like it's like this, right? Imagine, imagine you're from America, you go to Italy, right? You go to Italy. Yeah, you're from America, you go to Italy, and you order McDonald's when you're in Italy. Because your taste hasn't evolved. Yeah, you're seeing something, you're experiencing something different, but you're still doing the stuff that you could do at home. You know what I'm saying? So your taste has to evolve. So it's the same with fashion and stuff like that. I remember you wearing big tee and baggy jeans. I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because my taste has evolved. So my sense of style, my sense of fashion, and all that stuff. So your tastes do evolve. So evolution of taste is something we should discuss because I think it's imperative that men have these type of conversations so we could uplift men and stuff like that. Pause. Because that song's super crazy. Uplifting men song super crazy. But we should want to uplift men. They're gonna say that should sound super crazy. I can't believe I said that. You know what I'm saying? If a man's Paris was on this, he'd be like, bro, you bugging. You just say uplift men. But we need to uplift men, so what else? What else we could talk about too? So just evolution of taste, perspectives. And one thing men need to understand too, and this is just my perspective. You don't have to agree with me. But when you leave with that alpha male shit is a turn off for women. That is a fact. It is a free gem. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm an alpha male and I'm man and all that. Bro, you leave with your actions as a man and stuff like that. You gotta announce it. When you're loud about what you're doing stuff like that, women don't believe you. You know? We don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing too. I never be flashy with money and stuff like that. Like me, I never flash money because I don't have money. I don't have money in my hand. I can't tell you the last time I had paper dollars in my hand because I don't have paper dollars in my hand. Everything runs through cards and stuff like that. So money is a concept. Once you realize money is a concept and stuff, and you don't touch your hand and stuff, you look at it differently. And that's the space I'm in my life and stuff. But I'd rather if somebody give me this type of game earlier, I'll be able to reach this perspective a lot sooner. You know, so there's that. But Thanks for you guys watching and stuff like that. See, people been watching and stuff. Thank you guys very much. And that is all I have for you guys until the next upload. I might upload again today. I don't know yet. Maybe I get somebody on here so we could talk and stuff. So I might upload again today. Peace out.